and people will go, wait a minute, you can't put 60 pounds on in 2 months. Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah. If you're completely deep emaciated like that, I'm sure it's not that bad.
Yeah, kind of. I learned all mine in one step. I took a 1-day course on Instagram, and boom, everything was there.
The way to get better with the least amount of time and energy.
Right. So, Big Matt Winning, world record holder, stud, master's degree. You got so much going, or you have done so much.
Yeah.
I love your wisdom. And
yeah, man, it's just a constant step. I didn't learn all that at one rip, just a lot like your knowledge, I just put one foot in front of the other every day, kept accumulating knowledge and experience and hanging out with the right people, that want to constantly expand and grow versus stagnate and fall apart. You know what I mean?
Kind of. I learned all mine in one step. I took a 1-day course on Instagram, and boom, everything was there. It was 1995. Yeah, I think Heath Evans. It was the Heath Evans Already crew, and I learned everything.
That's for sure.
I want to go over your training that you're doing right now. You're doing a lot of hypertrophy training right now. That's just a fun word to say. And we talked about that before. There's a couple different hypertrophies in a sense. But right now, what are you doing?
So I'm breaking my training into 3-week waves. So I'm using a conjugate or rotating exercise thought process, what I use for powerlifting, and then I'm applying it into hypertrophy. So what I'm doing is linear progressing a handful of exercises for 3 to 4 weeks, feeling out where my weakest links are, and then re-attacking in the next wave, the next wave, and the next wave, and then utilizing a lot of data and research based on flexibility and tempo training, basically just confusing the muscle each step to where it never really recognizes the stimulus, either because the intensity is waving or the mode of the exercise is changing. But each day that I train has a select muscle group that I attack, and then that is being attacked in completely different ways, either in intensity or exercises every 3 weeks to not only keep, I would say, the hypertrophy moving in a sustained fashion, but it's also reducing or eliminating mileage. That's what I think is the superior system.
I got to say 2 things there you said, and I don't think the young me would have heard the 2 things you just said: mileage and intensity.
Yeah,
I thought I'm going to play the other side of this. I thought workouts are always 100% intensity. Is that not so?
I would say that on a general yearly span, that 100% is used about 4 to 6 times in a year. There's always something left in the tank.
Oh, let them just sit on that. Let them sit on that for a second, because we're talking to the masses here. We're talking to the elite Instagram trainers out there. 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 times, and I try to say this, and it's again, I didn't set you up to say that. I'm just allowing you to say this on this platform. People get so confused on intensity is such a huge part of this.
Well, here's the thing: is I think from the years the years I've trained and the years you've trained, I'm sure we can agree on one statement, and that is I have seen the same amount of gains going to a 9 as I have going to a 10 without the mileage. And that's the real trick. Is it's not what you can do, it's what you can recover from, and sustainability beats intensity every time.
Again, I got tingles over here, and it's not because it's 68 degrees because I have wolves, but it's because you talk so sexy to me, baby. I love that. The stuff you say, I think if somebody just listens to that stuff, I swear that stuff is more important than the training program itself in times.
Yeah.
It's quality. You said something else there. You said intensity. And then what was the second thing you said?
So the consistency is always going to beat intensity.
Mileage.
So you have, the mileage. So if you can't sustain a workout, and we both know that once you get fairly strong, sustaining 100% is nearly impossible, right? So what you can sustain is 90%, completely heal from, and then train with the same intensity the next workout week, month, or year. So if we look at statistically, if I push to a 9, whether that's RPE, rate of perceived exertion, or 90%, then what I find is that I can train really hard year round, which makes me stronger than going balls to the wall for 5 weeks a year. And then I got to back off for 2 months because I have injuries.
Yep, I agree with you. And then the mileage is something that is here. I'm going to try to put this all together for my fans too to understand. I just came out with a cream for the body because no matter how good you look in your body as you get older, if you have this unfortunately stretch marks or loose skin or anything like that, no matter how ripped and in shape you are when you're 50, 60, you don't see it. Now, my point here is this. I started it very young, taking care of the skin because I was modeling. And I don't think as a bodybuilder, I would have taken care of the skin as much, but I was doing both. I was the cover guy. I was doing these romance and all this stuff and modeling. So the skin was a huge thing. So I took care of it, a lot of lotion, a lot of stuff like that. And the point is, what people see when they look at me, they go, holy sheesh, you got a great body. What they don't notice is the little fine details. The fine details is the skin, the tight skin, the healthy skin, no stretch marks. How does a guy have no stretch marks? Because like I by the time I finished puberty, I was already 275 pounds. So it's one of those things that how long can you keep this going? How little mileage can you put on your body, but still be a champion? Now you set world records. You're a world champion. You did a lot. But again, the point of it is, can you get there with the least amount of mileage? Because we all got a certain amount of mileage. Cartilage, tendons, those kind of things, they run, they deteriorate.
Yeah, I put on, actually, when I started that hypertrophy cycle, I got back up to 282. So and my weight, I was still fitting in a 36 gene. So if I'm going to try to be, next time I see you, I'm going to try to be at right around 260 and be at like a 34. I think that'll look pretty nasty, so that's the goal.
I am actually trying to get back to what we kind of like graduated high school at 272.
Oh, okay. Where are you at now?
299.
299?
299.
Wow, yeah, that's big.
Yeah, it came down from 308.
You were at 308 for a little while?
308.
Dang. Mm-hmm. What'd you do? Just how much more food did you have to put back in?
Nothing. I just had to stop overtraining and stop all the really? Yeah.
Yeah, once you started overtraining, you just absorbed it like a sponge, huh?
Just back down. Just go back to the basics. Stop the cardio and all that, and just get back into some carbohydrates, and boom. That we're big boys.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much for us to get to that 280 to 300 pound.
No. All I did was add an extra meal, and I wasn't even eating dirty, and I went from 261 to 280 in about 6 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. What did I do? I went because I was dieted down for the show and all that. It was a good 58 pounds in about 6-7 weeks.
Damn, that's beefy.
Yeah.
That's a lot faster than I could do it for sure.
But remember, I was depleted. I was water depleted. I was dry and ripped. And people will go, wait a minute, you can't put 60 pounds on in 2 months. Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah. If you're completely emaciated like that, I'm sure it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt good to eat again.
Oh yeah. I would imagine. I mean, that's a whole nother level of mental toughness, that I'm slowly working on and dabbling on. It's taken me a couple of years to have the control, but now kind of food, I don't really even get hunger. Like I don't get cravings anymore. Like my body's just learning to use food as a tool. It's not really, I wish I'd have learned that so much sooner. I think I would have I don't know if I would have been stronger, but I think I would have had a lot more aesthetics a lot sooner.
Right. And for a powerlifter, you got crazy aesthetics, and like that your tiny little knees and ankles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So we were talking before, your incredible, what'd you call it? His farm internet? Cornfield internet, his one tower to his house.
Yeah.
Went out. Mileage is a huge thing. And
yeah,
you don't realize it when you're a 20-year-old. And that's why I was talking about the cream. There's things that we should start when we're younger, but you don't think about it when you're younger. You worry about it when you get older, but then it's too late, really. It's never too late, but the quality of it. And so it's the mileage. And
so I think when I got cut off, what I was going to say was there were two things that changed my mindset in mileage. One was a talk with Larry Pacifico, one of the best powerlifters to ever live, and won 10 world titles back to back. And another was a book. And since we were going to talk a little bit about books today, the first one, it was the book. It was by Thomas Kurtz. And Thomas Kurtz was a heavily read person of Eastern German and Russian and Soviet training methodologies. And the front cover of the book says something to this effect: training is optimal if you find the way to get better with the least amount of time and energy. And that blew my fucking mind at 20 years old. And then the next thing was Larry Pacifico had come to the meet. He was at a lifting meet in Indiana. It was the first meet I squatted 700 when I was 19. And he comes up to me and he goes, if you can hold on for another 6 to 8 years, you'll squat 800. So I took that as I love to train. To me, the goal was secondary and loving to train was primary. And so for me, that was like, all right, well, I'll just keep putting the work in and I'll get up to 800. But for a lot of people, that would have been a deterrent. They would have been like, oh, it's going to take me another 6 or 8 years to get that strong. Well, screw it, I'm done.